Hey guys, welcome. Happy Tuesday. It's episode 7 of the Money Show, and these are the things we're going to talk about today. But before, I'm also going to talk about bond markets because they were pivotal in what has been happening with the stock market in these last few years. But then after we start talking about the bond markets, I'm going to talk about how people are not traveling anymore. Credit card late fees are back. And also how some politicians think that no jobs are because people are playing video games too much. And I'm trying not to make this show political at all, but I talk about stuff that deals with the economy. And who knew that the economy was so connected to like politics and the politicians that are in office? And I needed to go over for myself, and I wanted to share with everybody the understanding of bonds and the economy, because apparently when the tariffs went live on April 2nd or the 5th, it caused a lot of volatility in the stock market. And with that, the president abruptly stopped it. And he said that it was because now people are negotiating, but apparently the tariffs sparked a fear amongst, the globe, and it was messing with our bond market. So usually what happens is that when the stock market goes down, the bond market rates also go down. And what's a bond? Because I was like, I've heard about bonds before, but I will say when I was learning about personal finance, bonds was always something that was weird to me. I didn't understand it. But when I looked it up, it says that a bond is a loan to the government that you give up front. So if I have $500 and I want to put my money in investment, I give the US government $500 up front, and then they hold it for like 4 or 5 years or a long time. And then at the end, I get my $500 and I get my interest rate back. I get the interest back, but I get it all at the end. It's not up front. And historically, it's a safe investment. And apparently for US bonds, a lot of it is funded by foreign investors. So other governments and other rich people. Chinese people who are like private citizens, even though I don't know if you can be a private citizen in China, but if they're rich, they put their money in American bonds. Europe puts their money in American bonds, Africa, a whole bunch of stuff. But when all that stuff was happening in the stock market 2 weeks ago, the foreigners were cashing in those bonds. And when you cash in the bonds, American government has to make it more appealing for people to put more money into it so they can sell more bonds. So if the interest rate was 5%, but they lost a lot of their bonds, they have to increase the rate to 10%. But that 10% messes with our loan products that we have in America, bank loans, car loans. The bond rate is what kind of sets our rate. But regardless, when people started cashing out, and who were those people? Apparently Japan has a lot of money, and they started taking their money out because there was like, over there in America, it's not stable. Asia, so I'm thinking China, but a lot of people were taking their money out, and we were losing a lot of cash. And that cash like literally keeps the lights on in like the Capitol building. Like it pays for, I don't know, just government stuff that needs to be paid for. And if everything is sold off, then it makes US bonds no longer look like a safe haven. So hey, how are you, Chad? I'm good. I am late today because I worked yesterday, so I couldn't come, but I am good. Thanks for always showing up. So yeah, the bond thing happened in a few weeks behind where the stock market went down, but then the bond markets went up. And that's why he had to double back, because I guess the powers that be in this country was like, the bond markets can't go up and we need this money to fund the government. So yeah, why this all matters is because bond money keeps America's lights on, and the cash flow pays our bills. So when people cash them in, the US government is literally broke. And he paused them because they have dire consequences for today. Like we can't pay our bills because we have like national debt and stuff. And the bonds, the cash flow that we get from bonds, helps us pay our regular bills. But also the dire consequences for tomorrow is that we're going to be seen as someone where people can't put their money anymore. And apparently that's a big paradigm shift. I think that is putting us like almost a century behind, at least 50 years behind, because people see the US government as being a place where you can hide your money and you're going to get your money and the interest back. It's like a safe haven. That apparently is not true anymore. And I wonder, he paused it for 90 days, right? But when he has to put these back up because this is a campaign promise, what's going to happen? I don't know, but whatever. Prices haven't gone up yet. I mean, I'm not buying stuff like that, but I haven't seen it affect us too much. But that's what bonds are. And y'all, I avoided learning about bonds for about 10 years because it just seemed confusing, but I had to do a quick lesson on it, and that's what I wanted to share today. But then the next thing I want to talk about is Medicaid is looking like it's going to require work requirements now. So they just passed a budget in the House, and it's going to go to the Senate, right? And a large part of that is that they're making huge Medicaid budget cuts to the tune of $880 million. Now, 1 in 5 people have Medicaid, and Medicaid, when you think about Medicaid, just think about poor. And when you think about Medicare, think about old. We're talking about Medicaid. And they cut $880 million from it. And one thing that was pivotal is that they want to add work requirements. And apparently, if you make below a certain amount, you don't even have to prove that you don't work. But now they're saying that you have to, because they say that there are too many people not working that are able-bodied that are on Medicaid. Because originally Medicaid was for single mothers, older people, and disabled. And they're saying that those people are safe, but it's the unemployed men that are not safe. And, I do think you should work if you are able and you're young and viable, right? The Republicans are blaming it on men who play video games. And it's not just men. I'm not, because I'm a woman, I'm dogging men. But that it feeds into the trope that people don't want to work anymore. And I don't know. There can be some truth to it. But regardless, it's looking like Medicaid is no longer safe. They're saying that it's meant to cut $51 billion in fraud, waste, and abuse, because that is what is estimated to be money that should not have been spent. But they've tried this in certain states already. What'd you say, Chad? I agree that there should be requirement to work to keep receiving. I don't disagree. I don't, because I go to work every day when I don't want to go to work. And I go because I got bills to pay, and I be there on time. So I don't have much sympathy. If you can work, work. I agree. May not like the messenger, but it's true. You need to work. We're here to work. And in the states that have added the requirements, they did find results that the Medicaid was lost, but employment hasn't risen. So according to history, if they do this nationally, they're saying they expect employment to risen. But I feel like if you don't want to work, you're just not going to work. People are just going to find a way not to work. They're going to find a way to mooch off of something else. But the end result is that more people will not have health care. And I think that's very sad, because I'm a big person. No one should be really sick and be rejected by a hospital. That would make me emotional. That's super sad. It happens every day, though. It happens every day. So yeah, that's what it's looking like. Medicaid pays for a majority of nursing home care too. So if they do this, a lot of elderly people are going to be in trouble. This bill also cut budgets of food stamps and Medicare. So I don't know if it's going to go into action like at the beginning of 2026, but it's interesting, because a lot of people are going to be bad situations. And I already hear food pantries are running out of food. So there's going to be hunger. There's going to be old people just in bad ways. Next subject is people are fearing to travel, particularly to America. Countries are not traveling to America like they used to be. In Q1, we're already down 10%. And it's projected that 90 million people, $90 million will be the cost. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not into traveling as much as I used to be, at least outside of the States. And they're citing that the American tariffs are turning them off. And also when people are going through immigration centers, like through the borders, it's like harsh conditions. Like it's not a friendly situation. I know particularly because I'm from Florida. The Canadians are not messing with us. We have like snowbird cities, and I have a friend who lives among there, and yeah, they're just it's dead and it should be alive right now. So I don't know. I think that there are so many consequences. You said, I recall that Trump mentioned wouldn't touch the food stamps. I could be wrong. No, I looked into it. They are cutting, so 880 million from, what do you call it? Medicaid, and like 250 million from food stamps. I call it food stamps, but it's called SNAP. And Medicare is going to be affected because the things that Medicare doesn't cover, Medicaid covers. So it's going to be affected with the Medicaid thing too. I thought Obamacare was going to be out, which is why I always check my sources because I'm affected by Obamacare. But when I looked up sources, nothing showed up. So I don't know. I got to look into more of that. But let me tell you, if Obamacare goes out and I have to pay, I'm still going to pay because I believe in healthcare. And without Obamacare at my age, it was like $650. I don't want to pay $650, but it makes sense. I mean, I might try to find one that's like $400, but there's no point in caring about personal finances and not taking care of my health. And $400 to me is like a car payment. So if I can spend $400 on a car, I can do it for me. Even $600, I don't want to, but I'm not going to get caught slipping, right? So, yeah, people aren't coming here. And I know for sure the Canadians are selling their houses down in South Florida. Exactly. Health and Wealth Goes brand. So like, I see it as if if I'm saving for my 401k, I need to be having health insurance at all times. Because I've recently had to go to the doctor, and even with insurance, I have a $500 copay. I don't mind because it could be a lot more, and I'm just going to go to pay for it anyway. That's fine. They'll get my $100 a month till it's off. So yeah, people are not traveling to us, and that doesn't mean they're not traveling though, because they are going to other places. They're just not coming here. A lot of Canadians say they're just going to travel amongst Canada. They're going to go to Europe, and it just makes me think, I know we're like America first, but it looking like we're about to be America lonely. Like we're just going to be marooned here on our island because Mexicans not coming over here. The Canadians are flying over America to go to Mexico. Like they just not messing with us, but that's going to do with our money. I live in Florida. We are a touristy place. Spring break, Miami Beach told people not to come, and now they were hurting because they get a lot of money from tourists. So the Canadians not coming to Miami Beach either. And I'm just like, how is this going to work? The good thing is, if you're trying to travel, airplane tickets are cheaper now because like they're 10% down in their sales. Hotel stuff is cheaper. So if we're us Americans traveling throughout, we might get some deals, but no one's coming to see us. And I don't know if we can make up for it, especially if we're losing our jobs, because Southwest just announced, an airline company, that they're laying off a whole bunch of people. What'd you say? I don't care. I like buying stuff in America. I know how it recycles through. I like how it recycles throughout the entire system. Yeah, but what do you mean like buying stuff in America? I'm the most horrible typer. Okay, that's cool. I'd never look. I don't look if I'm buying stuff from America. I think it's really hard. I like it too, though. Like, it's just, we say we want American jobs. And I think we as the people, the electorate, but the people who run it do not want the jobs here. And I saw something on social media that said, we are not a manufacturing system. We are a consumer system. You know, our money is in advertising. Our money is in the stock market. Our money is in the finance bros making stuff. It's nice, but I'm not opposed to it. But the people who are in charge are finding other ways to do the same thing. So they're not making stuff in China, but they're making stuff in Vietnam. The jobs are not coming back, especially with like farming. The farmers are screwed, for lack of a better word, because China is now getting their soy product and their wheat and whatever, the agriculture stuff from Brazil. You think Brazil is going to give up those contracts, even if America turns about and does an about face? Like, we have missed out on that opportunity for a very long time. So them farmers about to be pissed. What you saying, Chad? Yeah, in the late 90s, they sold. Exactly. I want the jobs to come back too, but it's not like they're coming back. We are a consumer economy. We're not a manufacturing economy. We could be, but the people with the money are not investing in that. They're just going to different countries. Hi, Mommy Trainer. Hi, Shalise. Welcome. Thank you so much. Just talking about the economy, ma'am. It's a lot going on. So let's talk about high credit card late fees. This is the last thing I think I'm going to talk about today, guys. But Biden fought for a cap for the late fees to be charged at $8. But our current president, good evening, East Boogie, welcome. He just had the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to get that cost dropped, and now credit cards, so Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, they can charge us with these late fees. And I am thinking that late fees equals billion-dollar industry for not the people, but for other people, for the companies. And I don't think this is going to be good. So if you're trying to get out of credit card debt, this is the year to do it, because we're going to be paying the price if we don't have our financial ducks in a row. Let's see what chat is saying. That's what it's trying to do ultimately. It'll take time. They started building some plants already. I did see that. It's coming. I see. But did you also see that Microsoft canceled the creation of 3 data centers in Ohio? So some Ohioans are not very happy. So it's like some people are bringing it back, but others are canceling. So you're right. Time is going to tell. But above all, this is why we need to have our money situations better, because late fees are not good, overdraft fees are not good, and it's not looking like we are going to be able to be protected against this stuff. We have to protect ourselves. So that's why I like to share some things, because I know y'all don't have time to do it, and I love to share. What'd you say, Shalise? Agree. Fees get worse. And with the partnership, I know. We can DoorDash and pay for it later. That has so many consequences because it's food. You know, I used to work for an employer that when they stole food, they didn't prosecute you as a thief, because it's bad business when you prosecute someone because they're hungry. You know, so it's going to be rough. But that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you guys for showing up. I'll be back next week. But yeah, protect your money, give yourself a raise, invest, save, all of that. Just don't spend as much. And I will see you guys next week. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye, Chad. Bye, East Boogie. Bye, Mommy Trader. And everybody else, you shut up.